Okay, Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon. We have a technical problem sebentar tadi. Ada yang report from our account. So, group 5, okay, tribes from Arab. Then you may present now. The stage is yours. Please welcome.
Boleh dengar tak?
Boleh dengar. Boleh dengar. Tapi Mashita a bit lag sikit. Medium tengok macam ada lag. Kalau kamera lag, you can turn off the camera. Buka mic sahaja.
Hello.
Who's the first presenter?
Mashita Safia.
Mashita, okay. We wait for 20 seconds sebab lag tu. We wait for 20 seconds. Okay Mashita, kalau lag, internet lag, tak perlu buka kamera. Just open your speakers. Open your mic, okay?
Okay, sekejap. Boleh dengar tak?
Yes, can clear.
Boleh.
You may proceed.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. Hi to my friends and especially to my beloved lecturer, Miss Hidayah. Also to those who witnessed our presentation. Today we will present the Bedouin tribe, Arab Desert region. In the subject of tourism, culture and course heritage, I am Mashita Shafia from July Intake will present the first part of the history, map and location of the tribe. I will go to the first part, which is the historic quarter. They have 11 points I got from history tribe, which is from a historical aspect. It is known that the Bedouin has been living in the Syrian steppe since 6000 BC. They are involved in nomadic herding, agriculture, and sometimes fishing in the area. In addition, the main source of income for the inhabitants was the caravan tax and the harness collected from winds. Next, people living in the Sahara Desert needs to be constantly on the move because of water shortage and desertification. Furthermore, they also earn income by transporting or lifting goods and people in caravans. Bedouin patrolled the border between Egypt and Moroccan. Bedouin have been guarding the route since the 13th centuries. The patrol cut near on Sinai's northern coast. Bedouins are a group of middle-aged classical Arab understanding throughout the Arab Fault region. Bedouin were able to speak of the language. As Bedouin in the Middle East have been to decide the pronunciation and spelling of certain words. Next, I will go through the last part of mine, which is the map and location of the tribe. They have 3 points in the map and location of tribe, which is the nomadic between people who live in Sahara Desert. Secondly, there are several tribes difficult. And lastly, some Bedouins no longer live nomadic or semi-nomadic lifestyle. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter.
Hello. Thank you to Mashita Safia. Hello, Assalamualaikum and good morning to Madam Hidayah and everyone. I'm Hurin Nabiha binti Ahmad Firdaus from Intake July. I'm here to continue this presentation. I will talk about culture of Bedouin. Bedouin, also known as a Bedou, are nomadic Arab who have lived in desert areas of Levant, Arabian Peninsula, Iraq, and North Africa. Bedouin territories stretch from the vast desert of North Africa to the rocky sands of the Middle East. The tribe's traditional home is the Sahara Desert, where they live in the desert. Slide. Next slide.
Dah ada.
Next is Festival of Bedouin, have given up their nominal ways in favor of a contemporary urban existence. Cultural festivals are held multiple times a year by urbanish Bedouins. As you guys can see on the right of the slide, there are 3 pictures that shows the festival. Next, I want to invite Dina Batisha to give her presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Rina Biha. So I will continue this presentation. Before that, let me introduce myself first. My name is Nur Idina Batisha binti Mizan Zamaki from Intake July, and I will present to you about the cuisine of the Bedouin. Arab cuisine. Arab cuisine is the cuisine of the Arab. It defined as a variety of regional cuisine that span the entire of the Arab world from Maghreb to fertile cuisine and the Arabic Peninsula. The region have many similarities by climate, cultivation, and mutual commerce. For the next slide, I am going to talk about the medieval cuisine of the Bedouin. For the first point, it tells you about the white bread barazidash. This bread was made with high quality wheat flour and the burak will bake it inside the tanner. Tandoor is a cylindrical shaped oven made from metal or clay. It will give you a unique taste of the bread. If you guys have a chance to visit Arab, you must try this bread because it have a unique sensation. For the next point, it about the recipe book that have been survived from the generation to generation. As you can see, there is a 3 book that is about different type of sauce. Each sauce have a different taste and its own unique. For the first book, the 10th century Kitab al-Tabi, written by Ibn Sayyar al-Warraq, gives several recipes to be served with roasted fish, attributed to the warrior sauce to Ibrahim ibn al-Mahdi, are created two Sibak recipes, one prepared by adding rue, caraway, thyme, asafoetida, and cassia to the mustard sauce, and another made by mashing vinegar, soot resin, and garlic walnut mustard vinegar and seasoning like asafoetida and anise. From For the third book, from the seventh Abbasid Caliph Al-Ma'mun receipt collection come a sibaf made with whey, walnut, garlic, olive oil, and MAORI. And lastly, the medieval of the cuisine is described as food of king and the supreme judge of all sweet. From this we can tell that this food has a sweet and unique taste. This is because Lausuna and medieval European cuisine. That's all for me. I will pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hello. Boleh dengar tak?
Hello. Yes, can.
Hello and Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Nurul Haifarunisa binti Rizal. So I will continue the presentation. My part is clothes and costumes. The Bedouin community has a unique traditional dress and is different from the others. Most of their clothes are made from the hair of their camels, sheep and goats. The design of the clothes produced is functional and stylish. Okay. As we know, other genders have different types of clothing. For women in the madrasa, they be wearing Bedouin women dress. On average, they wear long black dresses. The fabric has been used from time immemorial and it is generally finely embroidered with different colors on the chest and sleeves. For Bedouin women in North Palestine, Jordan and Syria, they wear blue or black tones or shirt with long and rather tight sleeves and have long neck openings. Their embellishments include embroidery along the seams, on the hem and on the neck, or 4 or 5 horizontal lines embroidered on the hem. For Bedouin women in South Palestine, they wear light blue or black dresses that have similar shape but are thicker and have wing sleeves. These sleeve stitches were first introduced in the 1960s. From the 1930, they also began to introduce the type of cross-stitch embroidery but with a different style to villages. The embroidery stitches on are usually red for married women and blue for unmarried girls. They will wear dresses that have a bright pattern and color known as fasten under excessive clothing. For unmarried Bedouin women, they will always wear a hatta, which is an underlying cloth bag like a male kufiya. Next, the jewelry one represents the wealth of a family, and the jewelry also has its own protective function. For example, a triangle representing the shape of a hand is believed to ward off evil eyes. Silver jewelry can keep the wearer away from misfortune, such as being stung by poisonous animals such as scorpions or snakes. This silver ornament is also recited verses of the Quran on it as a sign of protection. For jewelry such as rings, necklaces, and anklets also often have holes. Inside the hole, the item is filled with stones and it emits a sound as the wearer walks. Next slide. Bedouin men's clothing is made of silk and wool. Men's clothing in Oman district also have round collar and button shirt, while in other district it has high collars. Bedouins men do not wear jewelry, but they always carry equipment such as knife, khanjar, rifles, and ammunition with them. Around Palestine, their feet are bare. Kufaya is created with camel hair that is folded into a triangle. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Wait.
Hello. Okay. Thank you to my beloved friend Haifa. Assalamualaikum. My name is Fatin Salsabila and I want to tell you about Bedouin marriage. For Bedouins, marriage is both religious and socially significant. When it comes to the wedding day, there are conventions that must be followed as well as restrictions. Next, in the Bedouin tradition, when a man wishes to marry a woman, he sends a representative from his family to her home. When they arrive, the next Bedouin marriage will take place. This point depicts a mother or father as well as other representative traveling to the home of the woman he wants to marry. If a man proposes to a woman, he must pay her a dowry and the couple must plan their wedding. The bride's guardian receives the dowry in Bedouin Arab household and the bride's father spends the money on clothes and jewels to begin his married life. If the lady accepts the man's proposal, the wedding ceremony will be planned by both sides' family. Next, the mahar is made up of the amount paid before marriage and a greater sum that must be paid only if the husband files for divorce. This last sum is intended to deter the groom from divorcing his wife. The jewelry acts as a financial safety net for the wife in the case of an accident. When it comes to polygamy, the groom is usually forbidden from having more than one wife and only if the woman is unable to bear children for the guy. Even if the female even if the female cousin refuses to marry her father's brother's kid, she is not permitted to marry anyone else without his permission. Last but not least, the ideal marriage is to a close relative. Their marriage are always between their cousin. That's all from me. Thank you.
Wait, jap. Thank you, Fatin Salsabila. Hi and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Hana Saidah Azam from Intik Julai. We'll present about the next part, which is taboos in Bedouin. So first thing first, what is taboo? Taboo is doing something in a particular culture or religion, something that is not acceptable to talk about or do. Okay, for the first point of the taboos is, among the taboos for the Bedouin Arabs are the first speak of political issues, illness, accident, death or bad luck in any form, and besides that issue can cause embarrassment in strictly prohibit. Okay, which is never discuss political matters in front of them, otherwise it will be a problem. Doesn't matter if it's an accident, death or bad luck in any form, as long as you don't talk about it in public, because it's one of the Bedouin taboos in Arab. Okay, for the next taboo is to eat with left hand. Okay, this which is we must avoid using your left hand because it's another level of taboos in Bedouin, because part of the body that carries a taboo is the left hand. The left hand is typically only used for cleaning oneself after in the bathroom. Okay. On top of this, within Islamic tradition, the left hand and the right hand carry spiritual symbolism. The right hand representing good and the left hand representing bad. As a result, it's considered bad manners and impolite to pass things, such as money, gifts, or food with your left hand. Sorry, not without, it's with. Okay, when serve a beverage, except with the right hand only. When eating, drinking, offering, or passing, use the right hand only. It is because when eating with Arab, especially when taking hand, must never be used with the left hand because it is considered unclean. Okay, the next point is Arabs do not like to point or use thumb gestures because it is considered impolite. Okay, why it becomes impolite? Because pointing is rude. For them is like it doesn't it's something rude lah. Okay, even more so if you are face to face with someone and you start jabbing your finger in their face, perhaps this one is rude for you as well. So you will not be caught doing it in the first place. What about What about when you want to refer to someone and say, that guy over there? Even if you don't mean anything negative by it, pointing at someone or something with only one finger is considered very rude and impolite. Okay. In parts of the Middle East, many people interpret it as if you are singling them out of making fun of them. So simply gesture with your whole hand instead, as if you were showing someone the way you to somewhere using the whole hand, which is the right hand naturally, can remove any suspicion that you are talking negatively about the other party. It is almost like a gesture of welcome to join the conversation. And the last part is eye contact. Okay. Arab countries in the Middle East have some difference, but one thing they have in common is the significance of eyes in their culture, in comparison to the Western culture where eye contact is common. Mundane and trivial in Arab culture, it is more communicative and significant. However, women are expected to avoid too much eye contact with men because it can be misunderstood and mistaken for flirting. This fact might have arisen from society laws that are strict regarding eye contact between the two sexes. Also, continuous eye contact is a way to show sincerity and honesty. Okay, not only do they view eyes as evidence to telling the truth or not, Arabs also swear on their eyes. They swear they are telling the truth. In conversation and every day, eye contact between a male and female can be misunderstood. Therefore, most women tend to avoid eye contact with males. Additionally, women are not supposed to speak out against the male authority figures. So the last part, we go to the conclusion. So finally, what we can learn in this topic is that the Bedouin Arabs have a very unique culture and tradition. Many interesting cultures we can learn about it. In addition, we can see that the Bedouin Arabs have their own tradition in various ways. That's all for our presenting for today. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation on Arab tribes. Okay, so we will move to the next group. All right.
Disappeared, the animals inside came out to play. Went face to face with all our fears, learned our lessons through the tears, made memories we knew would never fade. One day my father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away. He took me in his arms, I heard him say, when you get older, your wild heart will live for younger days. Think of me if ever you're afraid. He said one day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. My father told me when I was just a child, these are the nights we never died. My father told me
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So here are we today. What you're presenting? Maori's group. Maori's tribe, right? Okay. So the stage is yours. Then you may proceed with your presentation. Yes, please welcome. Siapa yang present slide? Who's present? Who's present slide? Present screen? Anis. All right. Okay, you may start your presentation.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon to madam, also to my friends, also all of my friends. Okay, we are from Group 6. We'll present about the culture in New Zealand, that is Maoris, in subject tourism, cross culture and heritage. Okay, next. Yes. Next. Okay, this is our group members. As shows, Luman Hakim, Amalina Hadina, me, Mama Imam Sharif Effendi, Handi Sabrina, Izzati Nafisa, and lastly, Irdina Naili. Okay, next. Okay, this is our contents of New Zealand. In our contents, there is history of tribe, map allocation of tribe, culture, cuisine or food, clothes or costumes, six marriage, taboos, and lastly conclusion. Okay, we go to the first presenter. That is Hani Sabrina. Welcome.
Okay. Wait. Okay. My name is Hani Sabrina binti Muhammad Nazri from Intake June. So I will be presenting the history of tribe at Maoris, New Zealand. There are two large islands, that is north and south, and a number of smaller islands in New Zealand. The Cook Strait separates them. The North Island is the most populous. It stretches from 46 to 34 degrees of latitude. It is mountainous and geologically active. The South Island has a range of high Alps. There is much fertile farm land and grazing lands. The climate is generally mild. Um, the population is over 4 million. The first people of New Zealand are the Maori, whose name for it is Aotearoa. Maoris live in New Zealand and most live on the North Island. Around 80% live in urban areas in Christchurch, Auckland, Wellington, Hamilton, and Dunedin. So that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter. Huh? Siapa?
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Mashur Effendi. I am from Intelligent. My student ID 202005207209. Okay. I will about map and location of tribe in New Zealand at New Zealand. As 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 shown on the left, this is the map of New Zealand. Okay, I will go to the first point, which is physical geography at New Zealand. Okay. New Zealand is located at the center of the water hemisphere in the South Pacific Ocean. It is a long and narrow nation stretching 1,600 kilometers along its northeast axis and 100 kilometers at its widest point, which is 250 miles. It is the sixth largest island country with a land area of 260,710 kilometers. New Zealand is made of roughly 600 islands. Thus, the South Island is New Zealand's biggest landmass and the world's 12th biggest island, and the North Island is New Zealand's second largest island and the world largest 14th largest in words. Okay, next point is geology at New Zealand. New Zealand extends a significant distance into the Pacific and south towards Antarctica. It also extends toward Australia in the northwest. The New Zealand landmass has been uplift due to transpressional tectonics between the Indo-Australian plate and Pacific plates. This is the cause of New Zealand's numerous earthquakes and volcanoes. Okay, third point is mountain volcanoes and glaciers. Volcanoes, lava plateaus, and crater lakes makes up the North Island volcanic plateau, which spans much of the middle North Island. Mount Rofiu, Mount Taranaki, and Mount Ngaruho are three tallest in New Zealand. Okay, next point is caves in New Zealand. Lava caves or lava tubes are most commonly seen in Foho lava flows, which are less viscous and frequently made of basalt. When a volcano erupts, the lava flows outer layer hardens while the inside remains liquid. The cement crust above insulated the molten lava as it pours out. This cave may be found in New Zealand's Auckland volcanic field, notably and Rongitoto, Mount Eden, and Matukutururu, where they are relatively recent basaltic volcanoes. Okay, second last point is rivers and lake. Okay, many rivers cut through the North Island hilly, many of which of rapid and difficult to navigate. Wide braided rivers such as the Wairau, Waimakariri, and Rangit run through the east of the South Island, created by glaciers. Okay, lastly is climate. Okay, climate in New Zealand. The majority of countries settled lowland areas receive between 600 and 1,600 millimeter of rainfall, with the most rain falling of the west coast of the South Island and the least on the east and interior basins, primarily on the Canterbury Plains and Central Otago basins. Okay. In New Zealand, the drier city is Christchurch, which receives roughly 640 millimeter or 25 of rain per year, while the wettest is Hamilton, which receives more than twice much at 1,325 millimeter per year, followed closely by Auckland. The Rocky Fjordland region in the southwest of the South Island, which receives between 500 and 8,000 and 8,000 millimeter of rain every year, with up to 15,000 millimeters in isolated valleys. Is by far the wettest place on the planet. Okay, we move to the next presenter, Amalina Ali.
Hello and Assalamualaikum. My name is Amalina Hadinah binti Abdul Hadi from Take June. I will present about culture at Maoris, New Zealand. Maori culture is an integral part of life in New Zealand, influencing everything from cuisine to custom and language. Maori are the Tangata Wenua, the ingenious people of the New Zealand. They came here more than 1,000 years ago from their mythical Polynesian homeland of Hawaii. Sekejap Today, 1 in 7 New Zealanders identify as Maori. Their history, language and tradition are central to New Zealand's identity. Dah habis tadi ni. Kejap Macam ni lah. Learn about Maori culture and tradition. The best place to observe Maori culture is on a marae, which is sacred communal meeting space. Experience Maori culture by visiting a marae, watching a carving, or weaving demonstration, or learning about fascinating myths and legends from passionate Maori guides. That's all from me. Nafisa will take over. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Izzatun Nafisa. Today I would like to talk about festival in Maori. There are 5 festivals held in Maori. First, Matariki. Matariki, known as Maori's New Year, is a chance to get together and remember who have died. They are also share food, tell stories, sing and play on Matariki festival. Matariki is the Maori's name for the group of stars, also known as Seven Sisters. Next, Maketu Kai Moana Festival. The Bay of Plenty Town in Maketu is a place the festival held. The Maketu Kai Moana Festival is held each February and it also offers a lot of insight into the native cuisine and culture. Cooking demonstrations are a regular attraction and the festival also holds a strong reputation for its traditional Maori bread. Next, Kauhia Kai Festival. The Kauhia Kai Festival has a strong focus on Maori cuisine and it's also a woody celebration for all twins culturally related in general. The occasion was conducted with served seafood and wild pork. Next, Tamaki Herenga Waka Festival. The festival showcases the rich Maori history and culture of Auckland through food, art and craft, game, storytelling and live entertainment. The last festival in Maori is Te Rau Waitangi. Te Rau Waitangi is Wellington's offering for celebrating Waitangi Day. This festival can look to several kapa haka and musical performance. That's all from me. Thank you. I will pass the next slide to Nelly.
Hello. Miss boleh dengar?
Hello. Yes, can.
Okay.
Silakan, Irina Naili.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. My name is Tengku Idina Naili binti Tengku Mulyadi and I will present about food in Maoris. So in Maori, they call kai, which means food, and most of the Maoris people were hunters and farmers. They seek their food from forests, gardens, sea, and rivers. So the first one we have Rowena bread, which is it makes from the fermented potato. Honey slide. Okay, so this Ravenna bread is fried with a fermented potato, started commonly with known as a bug, and this bread is also known as a MAORI bread. So the second one is MAORI bowl up, which is this is the traditional food in MAORI, and it is a combination of green meats and bones. So it's like you see, as you can see, it's like a soup. And but in Mori, they also boil it with pork, potatoes, kumara, dumplings, and puha. So puha is like a plant tree, and the potatoes is like vegetables, and dumplings. I'm not sure how it looks like, but it's if I'm not mistaken, it's like a Western food dumplings. So and then next we have kinaro. Kinaro also a traditional food, and it is a harvest commercial from the whites for their roe. So how to eat? You need to remove the egg inside, and then you can eat the. As you can see at the slide, it is the orange color. You can eat that. Okay, so the fourth. Next we have fufu grabs, which is traditional diet food in Mori. So fufu grabs is lava. It is feed on rotten wood for 2 to 3 years, and then it's become a pupa stage for 25 days. And then they said fufu grabs is taste like a peanut butter. And then we have kanga pirau is a fermented corn porridge. It is prepared by inserting corpse cones and into sack left in a clean stream for up to 6 weeks until fermentation. And then the seed are mashed cooked like a porridge, and then served either you want to eat it hot or cold. And then the last one is kumara. It is very sweet ingredient. In elsewhere, we call it as a sweet potato, and it's also a traditional food in Maurice. So that's all from me. I pass to the next presenter.
Okay. Okay. As we all know, traditional clothing is one of the important things because it indicates national, cultural, or religious identity. So if they don't have one, it will be hard for us to identify them. Okay, there are three types of Maori traditional clothing. The first one is piu piu, the second one is korowa, and the last one is kahu huru huru. Okay, piu piu. Piu piu is a modern Maori garment that is normally worn around the waist as a skirt, as we can see in the light, and they use it as part of the kapahaka, a Maori traditional performance. Piu piu became famous after meeting with Europeans. The piu piu strains are often created from harakake flag sleeve. And the interesting point about piu piu that it can generate a percussion sound because of the harakake unspread cylindrical strands. Okay, next slide. Okay, next slide. Okay, for the korowai. Korowai is a finely woven cloth with muka tassel on the ends, huku haka. Huku haka are manufactured by dyeing the muka, flax fiber, and waiting to bundle into a single cord, as we can see in the slide. Okay. We which is then weaved into the body of the clock using the Mairo twist thread technique. Okay, and for the last one is Kahu Huru Huru. Next slide. Okay, Kahu Huru Huru is a fine feather clock were composed of mocha fiber and branded with bird feathers to cover the whole clock. These feather clocks were increasingly popular between 1850 and 1900 because at that time, clock manufacture was improving. The most famous kind of kahu huru-huru was kahu kiwi, which made use of the kiwi silky brown feather. Other kahu huru-huru contain keruru, green and white feather from New Zealand pigeon named hemifaga, and blue feather from the tui, also from the New Zealand pigeon named Roster Madeira. Okay, that's all for me. I'm going to pass it to the next person.
So for who's the next presenter? Sorry, who's the next presenter? All right, Hanis. Okay.
Anis.
Is regulated by law of parliament. The minimum age of marriage is 18 years or 16 years with consent of the family court. Polygamous marriages are not allowed in New Zealand. There is a ban on marriage between some brothers and some people who are already in a civil union. Um, in New Zealand, people under 16 cannot get married if you were forced into getting married and didn't genuinely agree to it. The marriage is legally void, which means you are still single. To be more clear, go to the family court to get a court order and declare that marriage does not legally exist. This is because New Zealand law also protects against forced marriages. In New Zealand, they accept anyone who wants to get married, even though you are foreigner, as long as you are not already married or in a civil union. If you are 16 or 70 years old, you need to get an approval from the family court. Then get a notice of intended marriage before a New Zealand registrar of marriage and complete declaration that the personal details provided are true. So that's all from me. I will pass to next presenter.
Okay. With me again, I will present about taboo part. Okay. Uh, a taboo is an implied prohibition on something, usually against an utterance or behavior based on a cultural sense that is excessively repulsive or perhaps too sacred or ordinarable. Such prohibition such prohibitions are present in virtually all societies. On a comparative basis, taboos, for example, related to food items, seems to make no sense at all. Is what may be declared unfit for one group by custom or religion may be perfectly acceptable to another. That is a taboo description. Okay, for the first point, taboo in New Zealand is first respect for that means that all to do with process of dying. That's preparation of a body, lying in state, burial of subsequent, which is hura kohatu, unveiling of tombstone is highly taboo. Next, the taboo in New Zealand is a person's head is taboo, and so when serving cooked food, it is never passed over the head. Third is the cutting of hair and nails. We grew up with the presence of a special tapu tree where all hair and nail clipping were placed. Second last point, all body waste is taboo. Lastly point taboo in New Zealand is things of the body are never mixed with things to do with the food. Okay, let's present it.
Okay, for the conclusion, the Maori people, known as New Zealand indigenous Polynesian population, they also have a long history that began when they arrived in the early to mid 1300 century. Hundred of years later, the Maori culture rich in arts and history, and that makes an important element of New Zealand identity. Okay, the next point, dancing plays an important role in Maori culture. For example, haka, a traditional war dance of the Maori people. Haka is not just used to terrify rival, but they also used to greet prominent guests, recognize major achievement, or show respect during event or funeral. And then next, the Maori people traditional language. The Maori people traditional language is stereo. Even though most people of New Zealand speak English, but the Maori people traditional language is stereo. The Maori people had no written language and had been sharing their history and tradition orally for many years. In other cases, they would even create character scene into wood and stone to tell their story. And for the last one, the Maori population is still highly prevalent in New Zealand because at 2013, they revealed that over 600,000 New Zealanders were of Maori heritage, making them the country's second largest ethnic minority group. Okay, that's all for us. I hope Madam and friends can enjoy it and learn something new from it. Thank you and Assalamualaikum.
All right, thank you very much. The presentation from Maurice Group, New Zealand. So your slide is very creative and beautiful. I love your slides. And then I'm so impressed with the presentation for the food and clothes. Okay, food and clothes are very clear. Also the background and so on. So far, I understand what your group wants to deliver. Okay, yeah, good and creative slides. Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Assalamualaikum.
We move to
Once upon a younger year, when all our shadows disappeared, the animals inside came out to play. Went face to face with all our fears, learned our lessons through the tears, made memories we knew would never fade. One day my father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away. He took me in his arms, I heard him say, when you get older, your wild heart will live for younger days. Think of me if ever you're afraid. He said one day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. My father told me when I was just a child, these are the nights we never died. My father told me promise I'll guide you home no matter where you are. One day my father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away. When I was just a kid, I heard him say, when you get older, your wild heart will live for younger days. Think of me if ever you're afraid. He said one day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. My father told me when I was just a child.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good
Salam
afternoon, madam.
Jumaat. Right.
Waalaikumsalam.
So you are from Semang Stripes.
Yeah,
For the
yeah.
presentation, I passed the stage for you. So welcome to the stage and have a presentation.
Okay. Thank you, madam. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Test one, test two, test three. Okay, let's go. Ayo, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. To all my audience and also to my adorable lecturer, Mrs. Hidayah. Yeah. Alhamdulillah, a very good morning and a very warm welcome to all of you. So before we start, I would like to say thank you to all of you, especially the one and only Mrs. Hidayah as our lecturer for joining our live presentation today, and we appreciate it. Before I forgot, we are from Group 7 will be present the Semang slide presentation. So don't forget to stay tuned and enjoy. Let's go. Let's go. Next slide, please. Okay, as you can see here, these are the list of our. As you guys know, we have Naim, Wafi, Faiz, Akil, Alif, Arif, and last one is the one and only me, Amar, as the leader of this group. So, what's up, guys? Hope you guys like it. Arigato. Yeah, let's move on to the next slide. Okay. So as you guys can see on the screen right now, we have 7 topics to be taught in this presentation. For your information, we estimate about 10 to 15 minutes will be taken for our presentation. So what are you waiting for? Let's continue to the next slide. Let's go. All right. First of all, therefore, to begin our presentation, I would like to pay tribute to Mr. Faiz for presenting the history of Semang. So, let's go.
Thank you, Abah. So today I am going to
Welcome.
talk about the history of the Semang people. So basically, the Semang are a Negrito ethnic group of the Malay Peninsula. They can be found in Perak, Pahang, Kelantan, and Kedah of Malaysia, and in the southern provinces of Thailand. They have been recorded to have lived in the Malay Peninsula since before the 3rd century. They are ethnologically described as nomadic hunter-gatherers. The Semang are grouped together with other orang asli tribes. It is considered that Semang had been living on the Malay Peninsula for at least 25,000 years. That is everything from me. Amma, please continue.
Alhamdulillah, syukran Syekh Faiz for an interesting talk. Hi, awesome people. So today I will presenting the marriage amongst the monks. By the way, let me introduce myself. I am Hakim Zohaidi, and I'm from International Innovative College, and my student ID is 2020-05-284.29. So, what are you waiting for? Let's go. Firstly, someone generally choose their own spouse, and parents can have little influence. By the way, there are some rules that discourage marriage of close relatives. For your information, a marriage is often defined when a couple starts living together. Sometimes there is a small feast and the groom gives some gift to the bride family. Although among more settled groups like the husband sometimes does a bride service for a year or two for the bride family. Uh, okay, wait. Okay. Marriage also is called as a simple amount in Negrito two tribes or Saman tribes, including the Kinta community. It was not planned in advance and it was not celebrated. To them, marriage is sufficient if both couples build a shelter and sleep together. This does not imply that they engage in free sex. Their marriage is usually the result of their own choice or a policy of same-sex love. Furthermore, family chosen marriage are extremely rare. As you can see here, divorce is acceptable in most cases, as well as polygamy and polyandry are sometimes practiced, but are rare. And the last one, marriage is sufficient if both couple be shelter and sleep together. Okay, uh, that's all from me. So I would like to pass you over to my colleague, Mr. Akil. So your presentation
Okay,
is now.
that's 1, 2, 3.
All
Thank
right.
you, Mr. Ma, for wonderful remarks. Today I will presenting the death of Semang. Before I start, my name is Muhammad Akib Anwar. Number student 202005 to my. Okay, the first is when a death occurs, the whole village will be notified. The penghulu will arrange for the funeral arrangement and ceremonies. Daily activity will be postponed to avoid angering the spirit of the deceased and cause catastrophes. Corpse and not burying immediately. Take stone carry for the corpse until morning to protect you from ghosts. It is also prohibited to beat a trample over the corpse. The corpse will be placed inside the grave where it will be covered with chopped bamboo. The belongings of the deceased will be buried in the same grave which put the spot the spouse of the deceased and their family are forbidden to adorn and rejoin with the 40 day. Uh, and Sabo, yeah, okay, Tabo, staying while in the forest. Number one, cannot sleep at the confluence of river, tributaries near a river. Number two, cannot tell and talk about things related to nature. Number three, cannot disturb mouse, tree, or rocks. Number four, cannot throw trash everywhere. Um, Prohibited abstaining during that. Firstly, the 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 early head towards the rising sun. Grave supplies call it daily anesthesics have place include money. After the burial is complete, family member will give a message to the die. Secondly, the return time for the grave cannot be looked back. Look back 7 days of family visiting grave.
For 7 days, the spirit of the deceased will be in the house village area. Thirdly, a bonfire is lit for a week, during which food 100 days for the last ceremony for the deceased. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you. Now I will pass to our next presenter, Wafi.
Thank you to Mr. Akil. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon, people. My name is Muhammad Wafi bin Muhammad Zaidi. My student ID 20200513 Dumai. Today I will presenting the culture Semang. First of all, culture is sacrifice is practice. Young boys and girls are sacrificed in a simple ritual to mark the end of their adolescence. Many serrated of a sugarcane leaf is drawn across the skin, then charcoal powder rubbed into the cut. They have bamboo musical instrument, a kind of jaw harp, and a nose flute. On festive occasion, there is song and dance. Both sex decorating themselves with leaf. The Semang bury their dead on the same day itself with the corpse in a mat and the personal belonging of the deceased kept in a small bamboo rack placed over the grave. The Semang are not hunter-gatherer in the literal sense, as they constantly change their livelihood depending on what is currently beneficial for them. As soon as one source of edible resources is exhausted, they turn to another. This way of life has been steadily maintained for millennia due to the specific social structure of their society. Spread family in the Semang community are completely autonomous, where they can gather in temporary camps, then diverge, each in their direction, and then gather with other family in new camp. Furthermore, Semang consider their customary territories free for use by all members of the local group. Claim of exclusive right to a particular area in a dispute with other group of Semang or with other people as usually not put forward and in any are not valid. The Malaysian government does not at all recognize any right of Semang to customary lands or resources. That's all from me. Let's go to the next slide. I will pass to my next presenter, Mr. Naim.
Hello Naim, are you there?
Um,
Ah, okay, let's go.
Thank you, Mr. Wafi. I, Muhammad Naim Muhammad Nazari, my student ID 2020051991 Dumai. Today, I will present you about Semak. Hunter traditionally use poison weapon and arrow for things and gathers white food and trash forest for cutting food. They did slash and burn farming and planted dried rice, cassava, corn, sweet. Slash and is burning to clear the forest for now crop. White food include bamboo shoot, nut, seasoning fruit, season keep chicken for food. And lastly, let's end this fight with Alhamdulillah. That's all for me. So I will pass you out to Mr. Arif.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Kamsahamnida to Mr. Naim for an amazing remark. Young everyone. Today I will present the second last and only the attire of Semang, or in other words called clothes. Therefore, I would like to introduce my name. My name is Mama Arif Hakimi bin Abdul Razak, student ID 202005 domain. As well, you guys can see on the screen attire were divided to into three categories. First, childhood, second, woman, and lastly, men. First, childhood. They are generally naked. They do not wear a single tile on their body, but nowadays the majority of them wear clothes like us. Next, women. They wear short skirt. The skirt made from wood bark. They also wear belts, bracelet, and headband. All of that is made from rattan. Last, men. They wear lens. In other words, called chawat. They also wear belts from rattan. The function belts to carry knife and small thing to hand. Okay. That's from me. So first to presentation. Next slide, Mr. Wafi.
Minasan arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you, Bisma. Minasan konnichiwa. Hi, everyone. My name is Muhammad Wafi, and I would like to present the festival in Semang. There are two festivals. First, Ganggalang Day. Ganggalang Day is usually held at the end of the year in December or at the beginning of the year in January or February. It is held well-being and safety of the village. The shaman will cast spell Chanagos guardian who are believed to have existed since the time of the ancestor. The ceremony will be performed in the house of worship in Balai, which is prepared in a special area. It is celebrated with Aboriginal dance or modek, and in half of the place, music accompanies the festival. The second festival is harvesting and the Semai tribe celebrate the rice on the first day the rice is harvested. The day was busy as everyone carry out various activities such as fishing, hunting, picking vegetables, harvesting, and pounding rice in preparation for the big fest. That's all from me. Thank you. So I will pass to Mr. Faiz.
Uh, thank you. So, in conclusion of this Semang people, yeah, sorry, give me a moment. In a nutshell, the Semang are one of the Aboriginal people that has existed in the Malay Peninsula since before the 3rd century. Completed with their history, cultures, traditions, and beliefs, the Semang are living artifacts that have played an important role in the development of the Malay kingdom of the past, as well as Thailand. They are our history and should be preserved and cherished as such. That is all from me. Thank you. Wafi, please continue.
That's all from our group. Arigato. Nya, ichini, san, nya. Arigato. Kamsahamnida. So we pass to Mr. Amma.
Amma, open your mic.
Sorry about it. Okay. I would like to say thank you to my presenter, to all my presenter. Uh, I feel so grateful for them. So before we end our slide presentation, I have a surprise to Madam and also to our audience. Okay. Wait a minute. Before we end, I would like uh, wait. Okay. Okay. Madam, can I
Yes.
ask you a question?
Yes, sure.
Yes, sure. Okay, nice. Okay, what are the difference between you with Rose and Violet? And Violet. Yeah. Can you guess it?
Yes. Madam, tak tahu lah. Apa beza ya?
Okay. So, the difference between Madam with Rose and Violet is Rose are red, Violets are blue. We didn't know what perfect was until we met you. That's all for us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much
Okay,
for that
welcome.
beautiful words. Okay,
All right.
Amma, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Madam is so impressive with your presentation. Okay, and then beautiful slides. Okay, and the information is delivered. I understand. And Amma, you maybe can be moderator. Okay, but you have
Inshallah one day.
that presentation skills and the confidence is very good. Sebab Madam nampak you are just a spontaneous person. Okay, and then so far good. Okay, yeah, thank you. Just like for the internet sahaja. Okay, like internet
Okay.
and ada salah apa ni just grammar something like that. Okay, so far it's good.
Okay.
Overall, congratulations. You have finished your presentation.
Thank you, Madam.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Thank you, Madam. All right.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Madam.
Okay, bye. We move to the next presenter.
Once upon a younger year, when all our shadows disappeared, the animals inside came out to play. Went face to face with all our fears, learned our lessons through the tears, made memories we knew would never fade. One day my father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away. He took me in his arms, I heard him say, when you get older, your wild heart will live for younger days. Think of me if ever you're afraid. He said one day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. My father told me when I was just a child, these are the nights we never die. My father told me. father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away. When I was just a kid, I heard him say, when you get older, your wild heart will live for younger days. Think of me if ever you're afraid. He said one day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. My father told me when I was just a child.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon. You're from Russian tribe, right?
Yes, madam.
Okay, so you may start your presentation now and have your stage and you are welcome. Okay.
Kejap ni dia ada technical.
Hello, hello, hello. Jelas tak? Hello?
Hello? Dengar.
Dengar.
Hello, 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 hello.
Ya, dengar.
Hello.
Hello.
Dengar tak?
Yes. Dengar.
Loud and clear.
Hello. Jap. Okay.
Okay.
Hello. Jelas?
Jelas?
Okay, miss. We start. Wait.
Okay.
But I cannot open the cam.
Alright, it's okay. Just open the mic only. You can close the camera.
Okay. Wait. Let me check. Aidil boleh present tak? Aidil open present? Ada problem tak boleh present dekat ni?
Boleh.
Okay.
Who's the first presenter? May I
Dah
know who's
open.
the first? Okay, okay.
Miss.
Hmm. Who's the first presenter?
I
Dan
nak
the
see
last
the
one. Has
slide.
yang pertama.
Okay.
Tak, siapa yang present yang pertama?
Has.
Has, okay. Yang terakhir?
Okay. Yang terakhir pun has.
Okay, alright.
Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Hasbullah Leri bin Abdullah. My group is 6 members and they are all men. My members' name is Naim Sofi, Lukman Hakim, Aidil Izani, Hamka, Irfan Hanafi. Now I will start at my introduction about a Kalmist Rusia. Okay, this is introduction Rusia Kalmist culture. Russian focal together with other cultures that have united together in the territory of the Russian Federation and the former Soviet Unions, has a long tradition of achievement in many fields, especially when it comes to literature, folk dance, philosophy, classical music, traditional folk music, ballads, architecture, painting, cinema, animation, and politics. In all these areas, Russia has a great influence of words culture. Russia also has a rich material culture and a tradition in technology. Now, I will pass to next presenter. Yes.
Next slide. Oh. Boleh next slide. Dah
Dah. Yes.
Oh, gitu.
Sebab slide dekat dalam ni tak bergerak lah.
Oh yeah.
Dia masih yang page pertama. Cuba present. Okay, dah bergerak dah.
Okay, dah bergerak.
Okay. So thank you Hasbullah and Assalamualaikum to Madam and to any one of you. My name is Muhammad Hamka bin Muhammad Rizal and today I'm going to tell you about the history Russia Kalmyks. The territory of Kalmyks is unique in that it has been the home in the successive periods to many major world religions and ideologies. Prehistoric paganism and shamanism gave way to Judaism among some of the Khazars, who include Muslim and Christian in equal or greater numbers as well. This was succeeded by Islam with the Alans, while the Mongol hordes broke Sangrealism and the later Nogais were Muslims before their replacement by the present-day Buddhists, also known as Orites or Kalmyks. So I'm going to pass on to my next member.
Okay, hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Naim. So my part is a map and location climate of Russia. Okay, the republic is located in southern Russia, lying north of North Caucasus. A small stretch of the Volga River flows through eastern Kalmyk. Other major river include the Yegolik, the Kuma, and Manich. Okay, Lake Manich Gudilo is the larger lake. Other lake of significance include Lake Serpa and Tasagakan. In all, however, Kalmyk possesses few lakes. Kalmyk nature resources include coal, oil, and natural gas. The republic wildlife include the Saiga antelope, whose habitat is protected in Kairen Zemli Nature Reserve. So I will pass the next presenter.
Okay, my name is Muhammad Adi Zani Firusli from ITI Julai. Today, I'm gonna talk about festival traditional Russian dance. Russian witness various innovation from other country due to its location and size to the country also came into contact with many different cultures through migration and trading. In turn, Eurasian cultural mix of music and dance helped um, Troika is a historically important Russian dance. Why the why the Russian dance world may be known for the famous ballet dancer and famous choreographer that were born and began their career in Russia. The Russian dance themselves have also contributed a great deal to dance world. Okay, next I give to next presenter.
Okay, Irfan.
Okey, boleh dengar suara saya? Hello,
Boleh,
hello.
boleh. Boleh, boleh.
Boleh? Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Irfan Hanafi bin Abdi Karim. Today I want to talk about Russian handicraft. Okay, the Matryoshka doll is a Russian nesting doll. A set of Matryoshka dolls consists of wooden figurines that can be drawn to reveal another similar but somewhat smaller figure inside. It in turn has other smaller figures in it, and so on. The number of nested figures is usually 6 or more. Its shape is mostly cylindrical. It means cylinder, round at the top to the head and tapering towards the bottom, but slightly longer. The doll has no toes except the drawn ones. The actual art is the drawings of each doll, which are very detailed. The theme is usually a peasant girl in traditional dress, but can be almost anything. For example, fairy tales or Soviet leaders. That's all for me. We go to the next presenter.
Okay, thank you, Irfan Hanafi. So today I'm going to explain about the traditional Russian food. These are 5 Russian food, very traditional one. Borscht is a beet soup common in Eastern Europe and Northern Asia. It is typically made using a large amount of beets by combining meat or bone stock with salted or boiled vegetables, which may include cabbage, carrots, onions, potatoes, and tomatoes. Next is a shi. Shi is a Russian-style cabbage soup. When sauerkraut is used instead. The soap is called sour shi, while soaps based on sorrel, spinach, nettle, and similar plants are called green shi. In the past, the term sour shi was also used to refer to a drink, a variation kvass, which was unrelated to the soup. Next is solyanka. Solyanka is a thick and sour soup of Russian origin that is common in Russia and Ukraine and other states of former Soviet Union and certain parts of the former Eastern Bloc, main ingredient being either meat, fish, or mushroom. All of them contain pickle, cucumbers with brine, and often cabbage, salt, mushroom, potatoes, smetana, or also known as sour cream, and dill. Next is ukha. Ukha is a clear Russian soup made from various types of fish such as bream, whale's catfish, Northern pike, or even ruff. It usually contains root vegetable, parsley root, leek, potato, bay leaf, dill, tarragon, and green parsley, and is spiced with black pepper, saffron, nutmeg, and fennel seed. And lastly is prizoki. Prizoki are Russian and Ukrainian baked or fried geese, leavened boat-shaped balls with a variety of fillings. Pirozki are popular street food and comfort food in Russia and a stereotypical part of Russian culture. That's all from me, and I'm going to pass to my next member.
Okay, who's presenting the next slide?
Naim.
Lagi satu.
Hello, Naim.
Test, dengar.
Okay, Naim, you may start now.
Test, dengar madam.
Dengar, madam dengar.
Okay.
Alright.
Okay, the Russian climate woman clothing. Okay, Russian woman costume in the center as and in the north consists of shirt, sundress, and apron. To see to sew their expensive foreign fabric such as silk, satin, or brocade, and often used. The shirt is decorated with bright embroidery of pattern insert. The dress can be sewn from oblique wigs with stitching on the front or from and the single web. They are on the white strap on the horse or with shoulder. They are decorated with button, lens, hanging button. Okay, so next the Russian climate. Test.
Yes.
Dengar?
Yes.
Dengar. Silakan.
Russian climate folklore. Okay, this is the main element of clothing of a Russian citizen. Regardless of gender, age, or social status, the difference is chiefly in the fabric on which it is worn and in the richness of the ornaments. For example, children's shirts are made more often than all honest parent dress and have minimal embroidery. In many areas, a child under the age of 12 wears nothing but him or costume all Russian costume necessary include this piece of clothing in this composition.
Luman Hakim.
Okay. Hello, my name is Muhammad Hakim. Today I will talk about kayak wedding. So, kayak wedding is the Buddhist Republic of Kayak written only on few Asian traditions. In bygone earth, matchmaking was held 3 times, but today there are only one visit by the groom parents to a bride's family. Kayak usually pay attention to the sign movement when they travel from house to house and even when taking a seat at the first table. So the taboos at Russia Kabbalists is do not tell jokes about parents, do not wear shirts at the Russian homes, do not come without gift, and do not let a woman carry heavy weight. Okay, that's all for me. I will pass
Okay,
for
okay.
another person.
Okay, thanks Lukman. Wait, I did update about tabus. Okay, about tabus at Rusia Kalmix, means do not tell jokes about parents is if you invite or for dinner someone as you love, do not come empty-handed. It does not matter what you bring, a box of chocolates, flowers, or a toys for a child. When expecting guests, the host in Russia cook the best dishes and buy delicious which they usually do not for themselves. Yes. Um, Okay, next is do not wear shoes at Russian homes. That is very important to know about taboos Russia can mix. Okay, Russian apartments are carpeted, often with expensive Persian carpets that are not nearly as easy to clean as traditional American rugs. In addition, the Russian walks a lot in the dusty streets, instead the, steering the house right from the car. That's about donut we shoot at Russian homes. Donuts come without gift. Okay, this is about gift. Wait a minute. Okay. This is about the mini the bags the gift is about the brings a chocolate box the miss I oh, sorry terbalik the Russian do not tell jokes about parents. Do not tell jokes about parents is means in the Russians. Okay, wait. Do not tell about the parents. Russian is not possibly correct when telling anecdotes about the Chucky or woman try to avoid jokes about someone mother or such jokes will never be practiced there. Okay, do not list a woman carry heavy weight. This is about Kalmis Russia. Rules established in now. These rules might make feminists feel uncomfortable, but Russian believe that the man is physically stronger than a woman. Therefore, consider it impolite and imperial if a man does not offer help to a woman who carries something heavy. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is conclusion culture Russia. Cultural dimension help understand and feel the essence of Russian business culture, but it is vital to remember that Russia is a multicultural, medical country and talk a lot of people can themselves Russianing or Russian when they deal with foreign partner, their own national culture and can greatly differ from traditional Russian culture. On other hand, it is important to mind the high dynamics of modern Russian culture, at least at the formal level. That's all from my group. Thanks.
Thank you very much, tribes from Russia. Okay, so you are the last presenter today. Then we will continue at 2:30 p.m. for the next group, which is Masai. Okay, Masai group. So thank you very much. You have finished your presentation and we may have a rest. Okay?
Thank you, madam.
All right. Okay. Goodbye.
Okay, thank you, madam.
Once upon since I came out to play. Went face to face with all our fears, learned our lessons through the tears, made memories we knew would never fade. One day my father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away. He took me in his arms, I heard him say, when you get older, your wild heart will live for younger days. Think of me if ever you're afraid. He said one day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. My father told me when I was just a child, these are the nights that never died. My father told me. Shining stars. He said go venture far beyond the shores, don't forsake this life of yours, I'll guide you home no matter where you are. One day my father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away. When I was just a kid I heard him say, when you get older your wild heart will live for younger days. Think of me if ever you're afraid. He said one day you'll leave this world